Come on, big boy. The camera's ready for you. Look up. Face your inevitability. It's time to do a review. Remember those things? Because you're more than happy to do them after you win. Honey, what you do? Lampard, what happened? Come on, let's go. You ready?
Is it rolling?
It's rolling.
Perfect.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel, YouTube.
Where's the energy? Energy, Mourinho. Welcome to Tottenham.
It's time for the Chelsea versus Everton review.
Why am I having to carry the energy here? I'm hyped.
It's the first time on this channel where we're taking an L. First time. And where do I start? I said in my preview that, Pulisic probably won't make it. I feel like Frank was bluffing. I feel like he was just trying to cuddle you guys a little bit and say, he's going to be fine. He's going to make it. He ain't going to make it, bro. I said it in the preview. And Lord and behold, he didn't even make it into the squad.
He ain't going to make it to the game or he ain't going to make it at Chelsea. Because both are possible right now.
Behave yourself. Then you have the starting lineup. That's where we start, as usual. For me, I feel like it was a spot-on lineup from Frank. From what he had available, we had no natural fit winger in the squad. I said it in my preview. All of our wingers seem to be injury-prone at the moment. So he had to go with Havertz and Werner out wide. He had no choice with that. Giroud obviously starts on form. The midfield, Mount, Kante and Kova, I felt like they were perfect for this game. Energy, but still be able to retain the ball in Kova and be press resistant somewhat to what Everton were going to come highly charged. We know Goodison Park tax, okay? St. James's Park tax, Goodison Park tax. I said this in the preview. I wasn't very confident going into the game just due to the fact that the ground is Goodison Park. We don't do very well there, but back five, same as usual. But let's get into the game. I mean,
you ain't gonna give your old boss Ancelotti the Italian stallion.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if I could lose to anyone, which feels absolutely awful, by the way. But if I could lose to anyone, you pick Carlo because you know what I mean. That's probably my top two favorite manager after Jose at Chelsea. But
seriously, Ancelotti too.
Yeah, man. Ancelotti was unbelievable at Chelsea. Broke goal-scoring records. He played two up front. I think Lampard's really probably looked up to Ancelotti in a way with his management and what he's trying to do with Chelsea and Werner and Tammy up front. But it's not the same as Drogba and Anelka, is it? Do you know what I mean? And just getting into the game, the first half, obviously we concede to Sigurdsson, Mandy mistake. That's two mistakes on the bounce now, back-to-back Premier League games. I'm not going to get onto him because he's been tremendous. He's been absolutely tremendous, as Donald Trump would say. I don't want to start, we're not going to get onto Mandy too much. You know what I mean? It is what it is. It's a mistake. As long as they don't become frequent, which I don't expect them to be. But it's
a balling save in the first half.
Of course. Do you know what I mean? So there's
that Richardson save was seriously.
When it comes to mistakes and when it comes to players' form, I try to build it up over games. Do you know what I mean? 5-6 games before I start really questioning what the hell's going on. And Mendy's made two mistakes in the last two Premier League games, but he's been absolutely amazing all season. Still one of the most clean sheets in the league. So we let it go. Richardson, we want to get onto him. That bastard, fam, absolute pagan. I can't stand him. The whole game, he played very well, did the job for his team, very similar to what a Diego Costa job would do for us. But the bastard was on the floor, rolling around all game, man. It was just sick and tired of it. Do you know what I mean? If I could catch a train from King's Cross to Merseyside right now, I would, fam. Do you know what I mean? He's just...
It's Brazilian. It's what they do.
So annoying, aggravating individual. But sticking on to Chelsea, I thought the only good performers we had today were probably Zuma, Reece James, Kova and Mount, if you're really pushing it. But if I'm being honest, Zuma and Reece James were the best performers for us. I think Zuma was pretty solid the whole game, winning his duel battles. To be fair, Calvert-Lewin, they were smart, Everton. Calvert-Lewin, we said it in the preview, his heading ability would be a threat, and he pinned himself to Silva, and he won quite a lot of duels. He didn't go with the Zuma versus Calvert-Lewin. He didn't go for that matchup. He went with Silva, who's not going to be as dominating in the air just due to size, even though he is very good in the air himself. But Zuma is an absolute colossus in the air. So tactically, I think Everton got it spot on. They were smart about it. They went to match up with inferiors, and I think Mina, dealt with Giroud on the other side of the pitch very well. Mina's extremely tall. And he dealt with Giroud. Giroud is the guy we look to, hopefully, for the aerial threat from Reece James's crossing. We didn't get that. And like I said, Reece James for me was by far the best Chelsea player today. He's the only person who can come off that pitch with their head held high, if I'm being quite honest. You know, he was the threat going forward. He was the best person defensively. That whole right channel was his. He stepped into midfield a few times. He tried to do it all, hit the post with a shot. So he really was everything. And if we had 11 Reece Jameses, maybe it's a different scoreline.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm using the Jose Mourinho. Yeah.
Malaysia sucking for this guy right now.
He is inevitable. He is the truth. I keep saying it. There's a reason why I rep him, because there's no doubts. Getting up, moving up the pitch, you know, damn. Chilwell as well. Gave away a penalty. Thankfully, it was offside. But moving up the pitch, Mason Mount, you know, dispossessed a lot. Lost the ball a lot today. He tried, but it just wasn't enough. In the midfield, I just don't feel like we controlled the game that well. Kante, Kova, I just felt like we couldn't get control. Do you know what I mean? Everton ran us ragged in that zone. And then going forward, man, I already got enough stick on it at halftime. Kai Havertz was shocking today. Absolutely diabolical. It was awful. And everybody knows how much I love Kai Havertz. I stuck up for him at halftime on a longevity standpoint. I feel like people are jumping the gun now, saying that he's been a complete flop and we need to sell him, and outlandish takes. But if we're criticising in isolation, which we always try to do, he was absolutely shocking today, you know, and I can see why people are going to be annoyed. And this is the thing with Kai and Ziyech as well. These players, they have a little bit of flamboyance and arrogance when things are going well. When things are not going well, you might get onto them because, you know, when Kai Havertz receives the ball, he was very slow. You know, when he was being pressed, he didn't exactly up his own personal tempo, so he gave the ball away quite cheaply, whether it was a pass, whether it was just being dispossessed. So I can understand, and I'm not happy. Do you know what I mean? If there's one thing that we're going to need from Kai, is the intensity needs to go up. Do you know what I mean? When you're receiving the ball, you just need to have a little bit more urgency in your patterns of play. And I understand, and I've said it before, you know, this is a player that you need to understand the tempo. They play towards their own tempo. Sometimes you've seen Arsenal fans get onto Ozil for the same thing, but in a game like this at the Goodison Park, Everton away, there's certain grounds you've got to step it up, because the intensity at Everton whenever we go there is always mad. Timo, awful as well. Do you know what I mean? You couldn't really get into the game. Do you know what I mean?
The FT boys, the Chelsea FT, it's already over. You realise this. The comments is just going to be, you don't know nothing.
No, they're not.
What are you talking about?
No. My channel's very objective. My comment section is very objective. They understand what it is. You know what I mean? We're criticising. German connection failed us today. And I said it in my tweet when the lineup came out. I was like, the French connection won't let us down. Some of them did, but they've been very consistent this season. The German connection needs to step up. And I've said it many times as well. You know, Timo Werner. Not on great form. Do you know what I mean? Not on great form. He wasn't good today. Couldn't really get in the game too much. His first touch has been really poor as well. Something that's surprised me somewhat. At Leipzig, his pass completion was quite good. His link up was decent, but I'm not a fan of the link up right now. The first touch needs to improve, and I think we do need to play to his strengths a lot more, playing him in behind. But also he just needs to improve his overall general play. So a lot to improve from him. And like I said, Giroud really just iced out, man. Mina had him on lockdown. You know, the guy's like 6'5" or something. He just won every duel. It is what it is in that respective. I'm not going to get onto Giroud because he's in good form, and also because look, as much as I love Giroud, do you know what I mean? We shouldn't have to rely upon him as our starting striker at Chelsea. Do you know what I mean? We should have a world class striker. We currently don't. I've said it so many times. You know, he is number one for France, and I love Giroud, but he's not world class in terms of, like, when I'm talking about world class, I'm talking about the top 5 strikers in the world. I'm being very strict with it. Some people will say, okay, he is world class, but then it depends how you define world class. But I don't feel like right now we don't have a world class striker, out and out striker. He is, and he's going to take time as well. Timo Werner is going to take time. Giroud is not the perfect option, because when today happens and Mina kind of wins the aerial duels, and we can't build off of him, then he doesn't have the pace to bail himself out and run the channel. So Tammy, we know, needs to improve. At one stage, we brought on Tammy and we had 3 strikers up front. So, you know, we still couldn't score. But for me, we don't have that world-class, undisputed, untouchable striker who plays every single game. I think the people know what I'm talking about.
I think you're sending subtle hints to a certain Norwegian.
Yes, a certain Norwegian that we all dearly...
Has a clause of 75 million pounds.
Yeah, certain...
Riola.
Yes, Riola. a little hush, wink. So yeah, you know, Haaland wouldn't go amiss. What can I say? I can't really get onto Frank too much. I feel like he could have made his substitutions earlier, as I always feel, but I've kind of spoken about in streams how that is difficult to do as well in COVID, in disease-stricken times. Calm down, YouTube. Jesus Christ. Let us make some money. It is what it is. Do you know what I mean, man? I can't get too hard on the team overall. It's our first defeat in a long time. We just need to get our wingers back. No natural wingers. That's my main concern. Pulisic, Ziyech, Hudson-Odoi, 2 of those being out for the next couple of weeks. Pulisic, we'll see if he's back for Wolves. People, I'm sad. This brother's happy despite dropping points to Man United. I ain't really got too much more to say.
Oh! We shall see you next time?
Yeah, Richarlison's a prick. And yeah, we'll see you for Wolves. Yeah. We move. Or maybe we don't. I don't know anymore.
Girl, look at the pressure.